Okay, I think that's working. I think that's working. It's okay. Hey guys, look, it's fucking cat. It's fucking cat. Alright, so this video is gonna be I don't know what it's gonna be called yet. Honestly, I just want to put my thoughts out into the void. Cause I like it! Oh! I'm sorry, I just scared the cat away. It's gonna be hard to think while doing shit, but I just want to put my thoughts out into like a video. Something that I've been wanting to do for a while. About working at a fire department and that's kind of stuff. So I will give a little background on myself. I don't really have any notes written down or anything, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. So that's usually how I do stuff. If you know me, you know I'm not the best at creating shit, so I'm just gonna do the best I can. So I am so my name is Manny. Hello, you guys might know me as Manny and Chicken Pants and Humping Pastel and whatever else you may know me as, but my name is Manny, and I'm an EMT. I've been an EMT for about 2 years now, and I've loved every single second of it. There's been parts where I'm like, oh fuck, this fucking sucks ass. Oh god. Oh lord. Oh Jesus. And you can see I have my beard, even though that's not regulation because I've not worked at a fire department in about 3 months, I think. Honestly, I don't miss it. I'm about to work under a shift. I'm part-time at the place I'm working at that works under a fire department, but I would just like to explain some things on why I do not like it and the things that I don't like about it and just the culture around it. Alright, so I'll give you a little backstory on me. I got my EMT in 2022, and I've been an EMTB for about 2 years. I've worked on a 911 ambulance, and also I'm gonna tell stories, but HIPAA laws, so I won't be able to speak on, names and dates specifically or addresses, anything like that. So I will keep it at a base level of HIPAA law, no HIPAA law violations. But I work at a hospital now, and I'm about to work at a different hospital, so I do not want to say where I work. I know you know where I worked before. So what I will say is that I worked on a 911 ambulance for about a year completely, a year and about 3 months or something like that. And I loved it. There's parts that I loved and there's parts that I hate. Before that, I was working at a really shitty transfer company. And that place was fucking horrible too, but for different reasons. That might be in a different video. But so for me, I've always loved. I'm sorry, I turned off the fucking music. Sometimes I can't concentrate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to fix the music. Okay, but let me see. I've been an EMTB for 2 years. We got that down. I worked on the box for a year and 3 months. It's been fun. There's been a lot of fun things. There's a lot of fun things that happen whenever you're an EMT. So you get to learn a lot of stuff. Especially if you work on a box with a fire department, you get to learn a lot of things, and you get to experience a lot of things that you wouldn't experience as a normal person. I wouldn't say normal person. I think it's just like someone that doesn't, do this kind of stuff. It's really cool what you get to do. Getting to drive an ambulance going 90 miles down the fucking highway, tollway, being like with no stops, no nothing, with lights and sirens. It's probably the best feeling in the fucking world. I think one of my favoriteest parts is just like helping people in need. Like I know that sounds like the cheesiest thing to fucking say, but honestly, you do not do 911 to make a paycheck. Cause I think I can say this, but I was making around, I want to say, okay, so I'm gonna put right here. This is $10 an hour. This is $15 an hour. I was making around, I'm not gonna put it, I was making around this much right here. So I'm not gonna tell you how much. It was around here, and that's in Texas, and that's I was making more than minimum wage, obviously, but like it was still like and it's also weird because you get based on years of experience. But like at the place I was working at, they needed people so desperately that it was kind of like, yes, we're gonna pay you shit, but you get experience in return, so it's not that bad. So I was like, I mean, I guess. I honestly just took the job for the experience. I didn't take it for anything else other than the experience. 'Cause it was not worth what it was paying. Like, it really wasn't. Like, so on a fire department schedule. Okay, so let me explain the what I was working for. The place I was working for, it was a third party company that works with the fire department. So that basically means we run the ambulance side, and the fire department is run by the city. And so we get paid by our company and not by the fire department. They provide little to nothing, and we provide all the medical supplies for the fire department. And the paramedics and the EMTs that run on the box. And sometimes the fire department would have to fill in for us if there was not enough people, which would happen like around once or twice a year, and they would get angry at that. Like, if we missed one time when there was not enough people, they'd be like, okay, fuck y'all fucking, I'm gonna smite you down with the power of fucking, I don't know, firefighter, I don't know. Anyways, it was, my first shift on the job was very scary. I fucked up a lot. I've fucked up a lot, okay? I've done a lot of fucked up shit on the box where I'm like, okay, I probably don't deserve to have a job. Nothing to where I would hurt a patient, but a lot of stuff to where it's like, damn, I'm a fucking dumbass. I've crashed the ambulance a couple times. I crashed it twice, okay? I crashed it twice, and I did damage to the ambulance once. It was a really hard job for me. Not only because it was my first actual 911 ambulance, and my other job didn't have like a lot of like ambulance stuff. It was mostly like a transfer company with a little few things that you could call an ambulance, but it was mostly just transfers. And here it was full 911. You had to know everything off the bat, and I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I did know that, but I was like, I could do this easy because like, I went to school and I did my 6 months, my 9 months, and I was like, I got this. It can't be that bad. First day on the truck. I worked with a partner that was named, I'll call him C. His name was C. And he was cool. You know, he was kind of an asshole. He was burnt out, like a lot of people are on the box. But no, I expected it. He put me through like the most ruthless training ever. It wasn't even any training. It was just like every time I would fuck up, he'd make it known and he'd make it seen. And he'd be like, okay, you fucked up. You don't want to fuck up in front of these people because they will hate you for any fuck up that you do. And he knew that because he's been working there for 9 years. And Mr. C right there, I loved him. You know, he was an asshole, but you know, he was cool. Like, he really taught me everything I knew. There's a lot of stuff that I learned from other people, but there's a lot of stuff that I learned from him, and I'm grateful for everything that he put me through. And you know, I'm glad he did that, and you know, I wouldn't take it back. But my first day on the job, he was like, do you know what Krillex is, or no, it was like, give me a Tegaderm. I was like, and like, there's this box full of shit, and I'm like, give me a Tegaderm. I'm like, because he was like, okay, so how green are you? I'm like, I know my shit. He was like, really? All right, cool. I'm gonna quiz you on this whole box. Give me a Tegaderm. I'm like, and it was like, and like, if I fucked up so hard so many times. So like, for us training, we had to do at least 6 shifts. I had to do 9 shifts because that's how bad I was to begin with. And yeah, it was fucking horrible. I didn't know shit. I fucked up a lot. I did so much stupid shit, but you know, I did what I had to, okay? Like, I was learning at my pace, and I think I did great. Ever since I joined in, Mr. C, he'd always be like, you know, you don't want to act like this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, because the fire department people, they will hate you. They do not like us. They don't like us. And I always, and like, when I first started working there, I thought I was like, I'm not like really much of a, you know, oh, these people are racist, blah, 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 kind of person. Like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, honestly, if people are racist, I'm just like, you know, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever, go ahead, baby girl. But for me, I always thought it was that, like, something like that. I'm like, I can deal with that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. But no, it was like, you know, this is worse than that. Like, they're like, these people hate you because you work on an ambulance and you're not a firefighter. And it's like, huh. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, there's many moments in my fire department, like, working under a fire department, where I was like, damn, this job does not suck. Like, yeah, it sucks at moments, but there's times where I'm like, I love this job. And the times where it sucked the most is whenever the firefighters would look at me and they would treat me as not one of them. they wouldn't even treat me as a human being. They just be like, okay, you are just the person that drives this box. Your job entirely is to drive this box to the hospital and get it back. You don't have any other purpose. You serve zero purpose. You need to kill yourself now. And I'm like, oh, but I went to school for this. I did it. I mean, like, I know it's not like a lot of school. Like, I went 9 months and like a couple like hospital shifts. And I know it's not a lot, but like to me, it's like, you know, I'm like first college person to go to college in my family, so it's kind of like a big deal to me. Like, I know to y'all motherfuckers, like, you know, y'all got shit. Like, I don't want to say it because I know some of them, like, some of them genuinely have to work hard for what they do, but I know some, like, you know, I don't want to put people in like that situation where it's like, I know a bunch of y'all didn't have to work hard for this shit because, you know, you guys had help. And like, I don't want to say I didn't have help. I had help in certain circumstances, but it was just so like stupid how they treat you. It's like, really be like, it was really like, you do not deserve to even be in the face of us. You don't even deserve to eat at the same table. You guys sit at the island while we guys sit at the table type of beat sometimes. And that's probably the worst part about it. Like, getting treated as not even a human being, getting treated as another, as a driver, as a taxi driver. Like, that sucked. And that was horrible. But back to how my partner would train me. He put me through a bunch of, you know, beatings and, you know, bad words and stuff. Not actual beatings. Bad words for sure, but not actual beatings. It's just be like, oh, you're fucking stupid. You cannot fuck up this way. This is something where it's someone's life, and you gotta know where you're going. And like, I understood that, and I think I took it a lot to heart, which is a good thing. Because if you did not take that kind of stuff to heart, you would have just let yourself become someone who doesn't care about your job. And I cared about my job a lot because I cared about the people that I help. I did this job because I want to help people. And I know that sounds cheesy, like I said, but it's what I really want to do, and it's what I was trying to do this whole time. And I think I was always doing that for the most part. I was always helping people as much as I could. And it would just suck whenever you'd come in. So we work 24/48s, so 24 hours on, 48 hours off. It would suck whenever you would come in and you know, come in for an extra shift and you get 1 day off, and you know, the people that you're working with would still treat you like, you know, garbage, like shit. Like, they'd be like, oh, what are you doing here? What do you like it just, the culture around it was so toxic. Firefighters talk like schoolgirls, and then they hate women for talking like schoolgirls. Like, it's like it really is that bad. Like, it really is like you don't see it from the outside. It might just be my department. Like, my department that encompasses 5 or 4 fire stations, that it was like that. And like, there's some firefighters that are not like that. Trust me, there are. But a lot of them are, and it's kind of weird. And like, maybe it's just like that generation and my separation from that generation. But there's like, you get that classic like, oh, big macho man, I must, woman, ha ha ha, funny women, ha ha, do this, ha ha ha. It really be that. It was really that. Like, a lot of the times it would just be guys being dudes, but in the worst possible way of them just being assholes. Like, you don't, it's scary to think like, these are people taking care of you. There'd be like captains being like, you know what, I really, you know what, like, you know, sometimes we'd have parties for the kids to come to a fire station, and there'd really be some captains that would be like, fuck these kids, I don't want them in here. What the fuck are they doing in here? This is not a fucking playhouse, this is a fucking fire department. And then they're in there all day playing fucking golf on the PS5 and fucking playing actual golf in the fire station. Like, I understand like work and, you know, dividing like work and like having fun at work and like all that stuff, but when you're saying your job is like the most high stress, like, I need to act like a fucking like hard ass all the fucking time, and you know, children should not be around here, and then you go on after dinner and go play golf on the PS5, I think that's about the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter, the kids are coming in. I don't give a fuck. Like, I know, for me, I was always sleepy because I would live an hour away from the fire department. I would still come in. I would wake up at like 5 o'clock to get there at 6:30, and I would get like maybe 5-6 hours of sleep most times. And they would always get on my ass for going to sleep, and you know, that's probably like one of the things that bugged me too. Was like, they'd always be like, "Why are you sleeping on the job? What the fuck are you doing?" Blah 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 blah. And then they're like, oh, the difference between the fire department and the medical side, whenever, even though we run together, whenever you run a call, even though it's a call 10 minutes away from you and to the nearest hospital is 20 minutes, that is 20 minutes on scene, 20 minutes transferring, 20 minutes at the hospital, 20 to 30 minutes back to the fire department because we sleep at the fire department. That's about an hour and a half lost of sleep. And even if you only ran 2 calls, that's what? 3 hours? 3 hours? So what? Cut your 8 hours sleep to 5 hours. And sometimes you run 4 calls. What is that? 2 hours of sleep. And for them, they get up, they go to the call. Once they're done transferring, they're done. So let's say 40 minutes. Max an hour. If it was a CPR, yes, that'd be a lot more. But for the most part, it was not always a CPR. So it'd be like a really chill call sometimes. Most of the times it's old people. Most of the times it's just people falling. There'd be those really bad calls. But for the most part, it's not really that bad. So it'd really be just like the fire department not understanding the medical side and how paramedics, work on a box. They'd say, oh yes, I worked on a box before. I know what it's like. But they don't understand that we run all the calls. We run to the hospital and back. It's a lot of us waking up at night with them and then going to the hospital and coming back and not getting enough sleep. And they would get on us for not having enough like fortitude to stay awake all fucking day and not be in our rooms, trying to get like a few Z's. And I feel like that's really like that break in between not being able to understand that and just being like, you guys are fucking lazy as fuck. Like, that's a really big thing. Because, like, if you really cared about the people that you worked with, and if you really cared about your citizens, you'd be like, I want my paramedics, I want my EMTs, I want everyone in the station to get as much sleep as possible. And, there'd be some cool captains, there'd be some cool chiefs that would let you, you go get some rest, go sleep it off, go do what you need to if you're studying in school or whatever. But, a lot of them would not be like that. It would a lot be like, just fucking do your job. There's nothing else but this fucking job. And that's another thing. We'll use that to transition into the next part of fire culture, which is fire culture. Your life as a firefighter. Whenever I see firefighters working in the fire department, to me it was always like, this is your life. There is no other life besides being a firefighter. They would expect you, and like, I feel like that's something they try to, take into themselves, like, just like, okay, we want to keep the culture as it is, because this has worked for, 50 years, this has worked for 100 years, this has worked 200 years, this is what I want to do until I'm 89, and I can, or not even 89, this is what I want to do until I'm 60 and retired, and this will be for the next generation. And I understand that in certain aspects. There's certain aspects where you need to have that, but for like some aspects, you need to learn that it's not always that. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, like, okay, so this one time, this captain and this other captain were having a talk. And this captain was talking about his wife. And it was like, oh, my wife is always talking about, I should come home from work. I'm always at work. Why is she always being so difficult? And I feel like that's a disconnect from older generations and younger generations. Even though I'm not a simp and nothing like that. Okay, I'm a simp. But I understand that sometimes, you gotta understand people that you're dating. Guy or woman or guy. You gotta understand the person you are going out with and understand their emotions. If they talk to you about something like that, I feel like it's something really big. And yeah, you can get lost in that if you've been with someone for around 20 years, 10 years, even 5 years. That can get lost in translation or lost in whatever you're doing. But, you still have a responsibility, if you want to keep that relationship going strong, to understand that. And I feel like a lot of firefighters take their job as their life and take firefighting as their hobby, which is really toxic in my opinion, because I love being an EMT. I love being a fucking EMT. I love getting on the box and doing what I fucking do. I love grabbing my little scissors and going snip, 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 snip on some people's clothes. And putting on 4 leads, 12 leads, and all that shit. Fucking packing wounds and shit like that. I love that shit. And like, I even now, I've learned stuff. I haven't worked there in a while, and I've worked at a hospital, but I still learn stuff, and that's what I love about it. I love learning, and that's amazing. That's what I love the most about being like a medical worker. You will always get a chance to learn. And that's what I love about working on the fire department. But like I was saying, these people take it as if it's their life. Like, they would work two 48s in a row. So 2 days back to back, have 1 day off, and then they would go and spend their day off with firefighters that work at the same department. And that's cool, because they say, oh, these are your brothers, make them your brothers, go hang out with them, do what you need to do. And like I understand that too. That's also part of your culture, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's amazing. But you should always have a separation in between work and hobbies and your own personal life. Because if you don't, what do you have at the end of the day? If your work is all your hobbies, what do you have at the end of the day to talk to about other people? Like, you can tell someone, oh, yeah, I go to work, I'm a firefighter, I do this and that. If I go to work and I say, oh, I'm an EMT, this is what I do for fun. No, if I'm going to go talk with someone at a hospital, okay, at my new hospital place, I met a guy that it's really cool, and I think he's awesome. And he's my friend. He's awesome. And you know what we talked about? I talked about him about being an EMT. He's a nurse, but that was after. What I connected with him about was being gamers. Gamers! I'm a gamer! About playing video games. Like, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, this is what I do for work. This is what I do. I don't do anything else besides work. This is what I do. This is my achievements. This is what I've accomplished. This is what I do every day, and every day off too. And I think that's really toxic for the culture of it, because it's like, if you don't have a life outside of work, what do you actually have? What do you have that you have accomplished besides work? Because you could, like, I've gone on calls for firefighters. I've worked like being firefighters for like 60 plus years, and it's like, yes, I was a firefighter, and like we run on them, and the firefighters start talking to other firefighters. And like, sometimes it's a genuine conversation about, oh, what'd you do? Where'd you work? But it's never like, whenever I talk to a patient, I try to make like a genuine connection. Like, even though sometimes you don't always have the time, especially if they're like dying, you don't always have the time to talk to your patient. But sometimes, one of the last calls I did, it was on a autistic kid. He was on the younger side, and something happened, and he was watching Markiplier. And what I think I connected with him the most on was like, oh, what are you doing? You're watching Markiplier? Trying to calm him down because something happened to him. And I was like, it was like a really, like, to me it was a really special connection. I hope I made an impact on him. But I didn't connect with him because I'm an EMT. I connected to him because I'm a fucking human being. I connected to him about the stuff that we did and the stuff we shared in commonalities. And I think that's something really toxic that firefighters do. They make work their hobbies, and that's not something that I think you should do. In my opinion, everyone has their own opinion, but I don't think that's something you should do. Because outside of work, what are you gonna do once you're done being a firefighter? I mean, you can help other firefighters, you can do whatever you want, but like at the end of the day, there's not much else besides that. You can't. I mean, you could teach, and like if that's your passion to teach after, yeah, that's amazing. But at the end of the day, you still need your own hobbies. Because at the end of the day, you're done being a teacher. What else do? You gotta have stuff that you love. And I think that's the people that I love the most working in a fire department. There's some firefighters that I love. They're like, I'm a farmer. I do this. I do that. I go skydiving. Like, those are people I love. People that do stuff. That they go out and they're not just firefighters at the end of the day. They're human beings with human values and with human emotions. Because when you're talking to a stone cold firefighter and he's telling you like what you fucked up with the most, that's like, it hurts. But at the same time, you look at them and like they try to resonate with you, and they're like, what do you want to be? And they ask you, do you want to be a firefighter? And you say no, and they come back at you with like the harshest intent ever. It's like, what if I don't want to be a firefighter? What if I want to be a policeman? What if I want to do this? What if I want to do that? What if I want to work at a hospital? It doesn't always have to be that. And I think that's what they hate about people. I think they see people who are not firefighters as like just not people at all sometimes. I think that's what sucks the most. Cause like, it's like, okay, someone's not a firefighter, but does that make them less human? I don't think so. That's one of the things I hated the most. And I think this is when I crashed the ambulance. No. Okay, so there was this one time. I messed up really bad because I couldn't find where we were going. Our dispatch put in the wrong directions to where we were going, and I didn't know where I was going. And I asked my partner; he didn't know either because he was new to the job. And I wasn't new. I knew kind of where I was going since I worked there for a while now. And my other partner quit, Mr. C, because he joined the fire department. He never thought he was going to, but I pushed him. I was like, "Hey, yo, Mr. C, you should apply. I know you're not like you're not white, you're not a white guy, and you're not like you're not like you don't really fit, but it's like it doesn't really matter. You got what it takes. You're the best medic here. You know so much shit. You could be a firefighter, right? And I'm not sure if it was me who pushed him to do that, but I'm glad I gave him like a few words to do that. He did it, and he became a firefighter, and I respect him. And he joined the same department that I work at, and there was nothing wrong with that. I accept him. He's cool. But even then, after he left and became a firefighter, he still had the emotions that I had, that he had towards the fire department, to where it's like these guys are fucking assholes. He still had that as he was working for that department, and that's like the part that sucks the most. Like having to work for a place that you like that like treats you like shit whenever you were like not on the department technically, and then now they treat you like you're like the best person ever because you're a paramedic and they need you. That's what really sucks. Like they really are two-faced. But I think yeah, that day I fucked up. We didn't know where we were going. Someone was having a really bad call. I tried being there, and like I really tried doing the best I could, but I could not find this place. And I tried telling the dispatch. I tried doing everything I could. And then our chief was talking to us through the radio, and he asked us how far we were. And I didn't know. I honestly had no answer for him, and I didn't know what to say. And I literally I had nothing to say, so I just didn't respond. But we were 3 minutes away, and we got there in 3 minutes, and we should have been there like 5 minutes before. They called out the other ambulance because we weren't responding. But honestly, we didn't know what to say because we couldn't find this place. We were gonna find it eventually, but we didn't know where we were going. And once we got there, they pulled us into a room. And honestly, the hospital that we were going to was 20 minutes away, but I got us there in under 10. Because I am that good. I know where I was going after. It's just I'd never been to that area, and I didn't know where I was going. If they give me the wrong direction, and they didn't know, and I didn't know where I was going, I'm new to this place. I've never been here in this city, like as a resident. I just work here. They really got on me for that. And they pulled me into a room with my new partner. I'll call him Mr. B. And they really tore us a new one. They were like, "How do you not know where this is? How do you not know what this stands for?" It was like a 3-letter like I don't know how you'd say it. Like how like community waste disposal has CWD. It's kind of like that. They put that in the notes, and they expected me to know that, and they put a different word that I didn't know. It's like an agricultural term that I didn't know because I never grew up in like on a farm or anything. And they were like, "How do you not know what this means?" And like you would ask at least, I asked 2 other firefighters, like, "Do you know what this means? Do you know what this is?" And they were like, "No, I have no clue what that is. But at least now we know." And he was like, "Yeah, that's true." And I was like, "Yeah, that's true. But I do not like how they expect me to know this. Like I didn't know this. Like, and like I understand knowing your city and knowing where you're going always, but at the same time, you can't always know where you're going. I'm not gonna know a whole, let's say, 500-mile city in like a span of a year. It's not possible. I mean, it's like you could learn a lot, but it's not possible. Even I don't know, like for me, it's not possible because I'm fucking dumbass. But maybe for someone else it is. But I really tried to know everywhere where I was going, even before that, and I thought I knew everywhere, but I guess not. And it was like they really came in on us, and they really said it was my captain, the acting, chief in training, and our boss. That was the third party company boss. And they really told us, "You should really know this. You fucked up." And I was like, "Yeah, we did fuck up, but I didn't know where I was going. And how do you expect me to know this? Know this term? Know this?" They're like, "You should know this. You should. How do you not know what this term means? Like, how do you not know this? Are you stupid or something?" And it's like that's what hurts the most. It's like, how am I supposed to know a term that I've never heard in my life, that I've never seen in my life, not growing up on a farm or anything, and you just expect me to know it? And the best they could come up with was like, "Oh, then you should come here on your days off to go work, go look at the city, go explore it, or just whenever you're on the clock, just go explore the city." And honestly, that's what sucks the most because pay range here, right here, 10 to 15. I'm right here, and they really expect me to come after I worked a 48-hour shift, have 24 hours to do everything I want to, work out, sleep, and everything else. Come to the city on my free time that's an hour away from where I live and explore the city for nothing. Just do it on my own for nothing. And I don't even live here. I live an hour away. But they live here, and they've been living here for 20 plus years, and they're like, how do you not know where this is? And I can understand having to know that place. And now I know it. If they ever say again, I won't know that area. But it's not something that you can remember, like, or know, like, right off the bat. I feel like if you told it to anyone, they wouldn't know what that is. And I just feel solid in that point. But I guess they didn't. And, you know, my partner quit right there on the spot. He felt horrible because, you know, we think we did the best for this person as we could. But, you know, it was really hard on him because, you know, he already felt like he was working there for about a month and a half, and he felt it. He felt what my partner, Mr. C, felt, how they divide us up into, like, people. They're like, here are the women, here are the less attractive people, here are the ones we don't give a fuck about. That's really how it's divided, honestly. Like, there could be, like, other ways to divide it into. It could be, like, women, people we don't give a fuck about, and the people that try. And the people that try really, really hard. But it would always be like that. It would really always be that. And they really didn't like him off the bat. Not because anything other than he didn't want to be a firefighter. He didn't want to be a firefighter. He did not want to work for the department. He just wanted a good paycheck. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you want to work for money, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because you can say whatever you want about firefighters. They still work for the money. Like, they do everything for money too. As much as everyone else does. Because we need to. We all need to work for money. Because we all need to survive. That's just normal. That's just regular. You know what I mean? But, before that, I had a different partner. And I'm not going to mention him or anything that happened with him. But he was a bad person. That's all we'll say. And they loved him. He was about to get hired into a fire department. And they were about to hire him. And then something came out and he didn't get hired. And then he got fired. And this guy got hired. And my partner, Mr. B, he was about the same guy. You know, I'd say he was about the same guy as this other guy. Not in the being bad aspect, but like the learning aspect, the knowing your shit aspect, the, you know, trying your hardest to achieve what you can, okay, aspect. And you would still do it for the paycheck. And they just simply did not like him because he wasn't this other guy. And like, I feel like I can stand with full confidence saying, and yeah, my partner, Mr. B, he fucked up a couple times. He fucked up really bad. But you know, he still tried his fucking hardest to do what he could. And it was always like, they did not like him because who he is as a person. I don't want to say it's because he's, you know, this color or that color or shit like that. That's really what it felt like most of the time. Because he was literally the same as my other partner that was really bad. Not bad in an aspect of where he was a bad, like, paramedic. Just bad as in a bad person aspect. But my partner, Mr. B, he tried his hardest. And he still got treated like shit. He still did everything he could. And he felt like he didn't get what he deserved. And he still didn't get the recognition he deserved. For doing whatever he could. I feel like that's what hurt the most. I told my third party company boss, you guys were about to hire this other guy. And this guy did horrible fucking things. And you still hate Mr. B. And he's about the same person. And he tried his hardest. And you guys fucking hate him. You know how much that fucking hurts? As a fucking... Just as a, like... As a person-to-person thing, that sucks. That sucks ass. I feel like that's, like, one of the hardest things to deal with at the fire department. Having to deal with firefighters that hate you, do not want you around, and treat you like shit just because you're not a firefighter. And maybe it's just my departments. Maybe it's just, like, the place where I work, the culture. Because, like, I would go to other apartments since we rank coalition calls, like, outside of our city. And it never felt like that. It always felt like, oh, they're here. You know, these firefighters, the other firefighters, they're like, okay, you know, what do you need from us? What do you need us to do? What can we help you with? Do you guys need anything else? Our fire department would always be like, get the fuck out the way. Do not touch this patient. Do not even look in our direction. You guys do not deserve to be on this box. Get the fuck off. You guys are here to transfer and that's it. Even to the paramedics that would run on the box. If you were not there for at least 20 plus years, you were not seen as a good paramedic. And I feel like that's the worst part of it all. If you didn't devote your life to this place, and you didn't know the people there, they just saw you as someone that was gonna leave. And yes, it is true. And it wasn't the pay. I swear, it is not the pay that is why people left. It is because how people got treated by the fire department. Because people would have favorites. And people would love people that just kiss ass. And that's something that I never wanted to be. I never wanted to be someone that kisses ass. And that's something that I never did. I never kissed ass, ever. There was people that I looked up to because they taught me things. Stuff that I loved about working in a fire department. I loved learning. People that were there, they taught me so many things I could not learn off the box. I loved working hard. We would clean the ambulances every fucking day. Even when I was fucking tired as fuck, I would clean that fucking ambulance to get it spick and span. Not for anything else other than it's good fucking work. It's something I want to fucking do because I always want to be fucking bored even though I'm fucking tired. And just like being in like, you know, having that, oh, brotherly, they're your brothers to death or whatever. Like that's kind of cool. There's some people where I was like, you know, this guy's awesome. I love this guy. This guy's amazing. And I love being around him and I love him. He's awesome. But there's really people, I think one of my last calls where we actually went to an actual fire. These people they have like 5 fires a year. We went to an actual fire. And I showed up. It was raining hard as fuck. And they told us to wait there because usually the ambulance goes with people with the fire department on fires, just because, you know, in case there's anyone injured or anything. I tried to help. My old partner, Mr. C, was working there, and I was like, you know what? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can help with? They had me sweep off the debris off the ground. There's nothing wrong with that because I don't give a fuck. Because I'm not going in any burning buildings. It's not a firefighter. But you know, whenever I tried to, you know, help them with the hose pickup and stuff like that, there's this one captain that fucking hated me. No matter what I did, no matter what I tried to do, he just hated me for no reason. And whenever they were picking up the hose, I was just looking at them because there's nothing I can do. I'm just there waiting for orders to, you know, leave because there's nothing I can do. He was there picking up the hose with every other firefighter, and there's like 5 firefighters picking up one hose, and it's like the funniest thing ever. How many firefighters you need to pick up a hose? Type B. It was funny. But anyways, he would just give me this look of, I fucking hate you and I don't ever want to see you here. I don't ever want you to pick up anything on this truck ever. And if you ever come near me, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. And it was just like, and my partner, Mr. C, he was working with this captain. And he was like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. He puts us through it. And, you know, he hates y'all. I'm like, why? Like, what did I do? Like, I know I fucked up. I crashed the ambulance twice. I pulled out with, like, the electricity connected once. I fucked up. It, you know, sometimes I felt like it wasn't my fault. Other times it was. But I was always tired. Always trying my best. And, you know, after all that, like, even then, I would still try to come in as much as I can and do my job to the best of my ability. And even then, they'd still be like, you don't deserve to work here. You're not a firefighter. You don't deserve to have this place. You don't deserve to even, you know, sleep at the fire station. If you wanted to, we could have you guys post and, you know, just sleep at a fucking gas station. And I think that's what hurts the most. Whenever people that you see as, like, civil servants be assholes to people that you work with, it's like you really see the worst in humanity. I think I've seen the worst in humanity in firefighters and not in the people I've run on. Because I've seen some horrible fucking people that I've run on getting beaten and fucking, you know, stabbed and fucking, you know, domestic abuse and stuff like that. But I think the worst I've seen from the world is from firefighters. And I think that's what sucks the most. I think that's what I hate the most out of everything. Just seeing, like, the people that you're supposed to look up to, that kids look up to, be the worst of the worst. It sucks. And it's just like, it's horrible. It really makes me so sad because, like, I really looked up to these people And there's some people that I love genuinely that work there because they're like literally the best teachers that I've ever fucking met. But some of them were just like the worst people I've ever fucking met. They just like hate us for just being there. And it's like, I'm doing this to help people. I'm doing this to help people in your city, not mine. This is not my city. I don't live here. I can't afford to live here. I live an hour away. I'm doing this for y'all. And they're like, no, I fucking hate you. And I think that's the worst part about it. And I don't think there's anything I can do. I think that's a culture. And if that's a culture, that's fine. But I think that's something that needs to change in my opinion. As an EMT, I don't know. It's just something I would say. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that's my experience working in our fire department. Yeah, I hope you like it. I don't have anything else to say, so end the video, flop off. Adios. Bye.